Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. I deeply appreciate you taking the time to click on this video today. Here we focus on unmasking and understanding the narcissist, shedding light on their behaviors, and empowering you with knowledge. In today's video, I'll be delving into two critical flaws that every narcissist shares, flaws that inevitably become their undoing. These two factors are not only central to understanding the narcissist's psyche, but are also the keys to their ultimate downfall. It's not up to us to seek revenge, plot against them, or waste energy figuring out how to teach them a lesson. The irony is that narcissists are masters of self-sabotage. Day by day, they walk a path riddled with choices that lead to their eventual destruction. Their arrogance, their relentless need for control, and their insatiable desire for validation create a fragile foundation that cannot sustain them forever. This isn't something we need to orchestrate or expedite, it's a process that happens naturally. The narcissist, blinded by their own inflated ego, is oblivious to the damage they cause themselves, whether it's in relationships, careers, or even their mental health. So as much as they might wreak havoc in the lives of others, remember this: their actions are a ticking time bomb, set to detonate when they least expect it. There's no need for us to stoop to their level or get entangled in their games. Instead, we can take a step back, focus on healing, and trust that their path of self-destruction is already underway. Today's discussion will go deeper into these two defining characteristics that make every narcissist their own worst enemy. Together, we'll explore how these traits manifest and why they inevitably lead to the collapse of the narcissist's carefully constructed facade. Stay tuned, because understanding this not only sheds light on their behavior, but also helps us find peace and freedom from their influence. Let's dive in. At the core of a narcissist's being lies a deep-seated envy, but their envy extends far beyond material possessions or accomplishments. What truly consumes them is their envy of people who embody qualities they can never possess: goodness, honesty, and sincerity. They might mock these individuals, belittle their virtues, or exploit their kindness, but beneath the surface, they harbor a secret longing. They wish they could experience the genuine contentment that comes from living authentically and finding joy in the simple pleasures of life. Yet they can't. Their inability to be content with what they have fuels this destructive envy, creating a chasm between who they are and who they wish to be. This envy doesn't exist in isolation. It festers and mutates into a cocktail of toxic emotions. When a narcissist feels envious but powerless to change their reality, their envy morphs into anger, sometimes a seething rage, and then disgust, both toward themselves and those they envy. These emotions spiral into a cycle of negativity that traps them in a relentless storm of inner turmoil. It's not just their mental well-being that suffers. This negativity seeps into their physical health, corroding them from the inside out. Imagine living every day burdened by an overwhelming sense of discontentment, unable to escape the gnawing dissatisfaction with life. What makes their plight even more tragic is the facade they feel compelled to maintain. Beneath their masks of confidence and charm lies a deep sadness. Narcissists are forced to rely on counterfeit smiles and hollow laughter to conceal the suffocating wave of negative emotions that threatens to consume them. The need to uphold this illusion becomes their survival mechanism, but it's also their prison, locking them into a life devoid of true happiness or inner peace. Envy, in many ways, becomes their undoing. It doesn't merely torment them, it destroys them. Envy is the root from which their other destructive emotions grow, making genuine joy an impossibility. It keeps them chained to their own misery, unable to break free from the cycle of covetousness and despair. For all their external bravado, the narcissist lives in a state of quiet desperation, constantly battling emotions that erode their spirit and make fulfillment forever out of reach. Ultimately, this is the great paradox of the narcissist. They long for the very things they cannot have: true happiness, peace, and authenticity. And it is this longing, coupled with their inability to bridge the gap between desire and reality, that ensures their unhappiness remains perpetual. In the end, envy doesn't just consume the narcissist, it becomes their ultimate downfall, leaving them isolated in a world of their own making, where nothing is ever enough, and peace is forever unattainable. Narcissists often seem like they are hardwired to engage in destructive behaviors, almost as if programmed to embody everything malicious under the sun. Although they may operate at varying levels of intensity, their core essence remains disturbingly uniform, dark, rotten, and devoid of genuine goodness. To be transparent, there are countless things that can unravel a narcissist, but I firmly believe that two key emotions stand above all as their ultimate undoing. These emotions hold a unique power, capable of destabilizing even the most composed narcissist. Unlike others who can manage these emotions with grace, narcissists, being creatures of excess, experience them at an unhealthy and overwhelming intensity. These two emotions, which I haven't yet explored in depth, are worth your attention today. By the end of this discussion, you will understand not only how destructive these emotions are, but also why they have the potential to bring every narcissist to their knees. Let's delve deeper into these potent emotional triggers and uncover their devastating impact. The first of these emotions is envy. Envy is the corrosive feeling of discontent or resentful longing provoked by someone else's possessions, qualities, or fortune. For narcissists, envy isn't just an occasional pang, it's their constant companion, a shadow that follows them relentlessly. Each day, they are consumed by this burning resentment because someone else possesses something they desire. What makes this trait especially troubling is that no matter how much a narcissist accumulates, whether in material wealth, status, or relationships, the envy remains. It's an insatiable hunger that drives their actions, distorting their reality and fueling their toxic behaviors. At the heart of their envy lies covetousness, an intense desire to possess what belongs to others. This isn't rooted in any logical reasoning or genuine need, it's simply the narcissist's nature. They crave what others have, not because they truly need it, but because they cannot bear to see someone else in possession of something they don't own. Contentment is an alien concept to them. They live in a perpetual state of dissatisfaction, always grasping for more, always believing they are entitled to what others have. This unyielding desire is the driving force behind their deceit, betrayal, and manipulation. For a narcissist, life feels perpetually incomplete. No matter who crosses their path, they will find something to covet, something to resent. It could be material possessions like your house, car, or expensive watch, or it could be intangible attributes like your personality, intelligence, or social connections. Even qualities like your level of education, your sense of humor, or your integrity can become a source of envy for them. Narcissists are experts at finding flaws in themselves and projecting those insecurities onto others, which only deepens their envy. This destructive emotion turns their lives into a cycle of emptiness and longing. It explains why narcissists often leave a trail of chaos in their wake, why they lie, cheat, and manipulate without remorse. Their inability to find satisfaction or happiness within themselves ensures that they are forever trapped in a loop of envy and discontent. But, as we will explore further, envy is only the beginning of what will ultimately lead to their downfall. Pride is one of the most destructive emotions for a narcissist, and yet it is central to their existence. When we think of pride, we often associate it with a sense of accomplishment, like the satisfaction of achieving a goal or celebrating a loved one's success. However, for a narcissist, pride is far more than a fleeting emotion or a moment of joy. It evolves into a defining characteristic, a deeply ingrained part of their identity that eventually becomes their downfall. The famous saying, "Pride comes before a fall," holds a chilling truth for them. Their pride not only precedes their collapse, but also accelerates it. At its core, the narcissist's pride is not built on genuine self-worth or authentic achievements. Instead, it is constructed on the shaky foundation of a false image, a persona carefully crafted to deceive others, and, more importantly, themselves. Narcissists are masters of illusion, and their pride feeds on this facade, convincing them that their fabricated version of reality is their true identity. They cling to this falsehood with unwavering conviction, investing all their energy into maintaining the illusion. In this way, their pride is not just toxic, it is corrosive, eating away at any semblance of authenticity within them. This prideful spirit is not limited to overt narcissists who loudly proclaim their superiority for all to see. It is just as potent, if not more insidious, in covert narcissists. While their arrogance may not always be on full display, it lurks beneath the surface, revealing itself in subtle, often manipulative ways. Covert narcissists might not boast openly, but their pride manifests in their constant need for validation, their silent contempt for others, and their smug belief in their own infallibility. The extremity of a narcissist's pride is what makes it so destructive. Unlike ordinary people who may recognize their flaws or learn from their mistakes, narcissists are incapable of humility. They believe their own lies, fully embracing the narrative they've created about themselves. This unshakable pride blinds them to reality, preventing them from seeing their vulnerabilities or acknowledging their shortcomings. It is this blindness that ultimately leads to their undoing. For narcissists, pride is not merely an emotion but a cornerstone of their existence. It becomes the lens through which they view the world and their place in it. Yet, in their desperate attempt to uphold their false persona, they sow the seeds of their own destruction. The very thing they rely on to feel powerful and invincible is the same thing that ensures they will fall, and fall hard. Pride is a double-edged sword for the narcissist. While it may stem from real accomplishments, academic triumphs, or professional milestones, it often spirals into a destructive force. What starts as a sense of earned pride quickly inflates into a belief that their achievements elevate them far above others. This exaggerated pride leads to an unshakable sense of entitlement, where they not only feel deserving of the best but also believe they should possess everything others have. To them, certain people and things are beneath consideration, reinforcing their illusion of superiority. Their unwavering pride manifests in various toxic ways. It convinces them that their way is not just the right way, but the only way. This sense of infallibility fuels an intense need for control over circumstances, people, and even outcomes. In their minds, they are uniquely qualified to dictate how things should unfold, often disregarding others' perspectives or feelings. Pride blinds them to the possibility of error, making it nearly impossible for them to reflect on their own behaviors or accept responsibility for their faults. Apologies, for a narcissist, are rarely sincere because their pride refuses to let them admit they could be wrong. At its core, pride drives them to envy. It whispers that they deserve more, not just in terms of possessions or status, but also recognition. They see others' successes as a threat, a spotlight taken away from themselves. This envy doesn't push them towards self-improvement, but rather into resentment, deepening their self-centered worldview. The narcissist begins to overestimate their own worth, thinking far more highly of themselves than is warranted, and this distorted self-perception prevents genuine connections with others. In the end, their excessive pride becomes their downfall. It robs them of the ability to grow, to learn from mistakes, and to nurture meaningful relationships. Their refusal to self-reflect and accept blame keeps them trapped in a cycle of superficial validation and inner emptiness. Narcissists, in their relentless pursuit of admiration, fail to see that their pride, which they cling to so tightly, is the very thing isolating them from the understanding and connection they so desperately seek. Pride can be a dangerous thing. For the narcissist, it becomes a fortress that shields them from self-awareness and growth. They foolishly believe they are untouchable, too perfect to make mistakes, too perfect to be criticized. Their inflated sense of self-worth blinds them to their flaws, and that same blinding pride chains them to their destructive behaviors. It silences their ability to admit faults, to acknowledge their brokenness, and to seek the help they desperately need. This pride prevents them from putting others' needs before their own, trapping them in a cycle of selfishness and denial. But pride doesn't exist in isolation. It becomes the narcissist's worst enemy. Rather than humbling themselves and taking steps toward healing, their pride compels them to act in ways that harm not only themselves but everyone in their orbit. Their relationships crumble under the weight of their arrogance. Their mental and emotional health deteriorates because they refuse to confront their inner demons. In the end, their pride becomes their undoing, a slow, inevitable collapse that leaves them isolated and broken. Coupled with envy, this pride creates a toxic storm that destroys the narcissist from within. Envy eats away at their soul, making them resentful of others' happiness, success, and joy. Together, pride and envy poison their mind, body, and spirit, leading to self-destruction. And while they may believe they are constructing a perfect life for themselves, what they are truly building is a house of cards, a fragile structure destined to collapse under its own weight. The narcissist's journey is like a ticking time bomb. On the surface, they may seem composed, confident, and even successful, but beneath it all lies a volatile mix of pride, envy, and unresolved pain. This combination sets them on a path to self-destruction, one that harms not only themselves but also the people who care about them. They create a reality that isolates them, leaving them trapped in their own illusions and misery. My hope is that this message resonates with you and provides insight into the destructive nature of pride and envy, especially in the context of narcissism. If you found this helpful, I encourage you to reflect on these points, leave a comment below to share your thoughts, and continue the conversation. As always, peace and blessings to you all.